Start by saying this. I'm not a politician. I don't act to be a politician, nor do I want to be a politician. But I do feel like, as the University of Minnesota and a football coach, you represent a lot of people. We've been through a demonic tragedy over the past few days, and that's felt by every single person in our city, in our state. I'm a husband and a father first, so are our coaches. Our players are sons. And I think I speak for everyone when we say that our thoughts, our hearts, our prayers are with every single family that is going through an unthinkable, horrific tragedy, unimaginable. And there's way more important things than football. And I've stood before all of you and continue to say there's way more important things than football without this. But we were the first team, I think, to play since that. We talked to our team about the tragedy. We said that we're playing for so many more people than just our locker room and our fans. We're playing to give hope to people for maybe a minute. That's what Row the Boat's all about. Row the Boat is about putting your oar back in the water and rowing, and that's what this community and this state has always been about. And that's why I've fallen in love, and Heather has fallen in love with this community and this state. And it's unthinkable to know what those families are going through. And I'm sure that this doesn't make anybody feel any better. But I truly hope that we brought a little glimpse of hope with our backs against the wall to our city, where they could exhale for a minute and smile with a Gopher football win. It is the smallest thing right now. Even in the locker room, I told our players, even our win, we're 1-0, smallest thing we're thinking about right now. We're thinking about every single person involved in that tragedy, every family member, not just moms and dads, but grandmas and grandpas, aunts and uncles, friends, relatives, neighbors. It's unthinkable. And there's a lot that has to be done. Again, I'm not a politician, nor do I act as one. But there's a lot of things that need to happen and should happen. And we need to hold people accountable to make sure that happens. These are our kids. So I'll leave it at that. And just know that we're thinking about all of you. Football, I'm really proud of our football team. That's a really good Buffalo team. That's a team that will probably go out and win the MAC, and you're going to have a lot of questions, but you look at the adversity we faced and our back against the wall and a lot of young players, and some of them didn't play particularly well at the beginning or executed at a high level. Because at the halftime I said, we're playing pretty good football. We're actually playing really good football, and then something would happen, and it set us back. Our guys would come right back. And so you're talking about game one, finding out a lot about the character of your football team. That's what game one's about. Finding the character of your football team. And I saw a lot of character with our football team tonight. That was a really good opponent we played to start game one. And when they come, I played in the league, I've coached in that league, and you come in, this is their Super Bowl. And we got everything that they had. And they showed us all types of things they didn't do before. They threw everything at us. And for a young freshman quarterback to process that on offense, and for our defense to play as well as they did, that's a credit to our team and our special teams. I thought our special teams played outstanding. So I'm sure you have a lot of questions. I'm really excited to be 1-0. Again, way more important things right now than football. I'm going to make myself very clear. But I'll answer your questions.
PJ, you talked about kind of closing out games throughout preseason. I imagine that nearly 10-minute drive is kind of the epitome of what you want to see.
You've been around me a long time, Andy. 9.5-minute drive is in the first since. Didn't somebody say something?
We didn't have that one. I'm sorry.
They're throwing all these things on the radio at me, you know, and it must not have been one. 9.5-minute drive is Gopher football in 4 minutes. Now, again, if we have a 4-minute one, at one point you're like, well, it wasn't 9.5 minutes. That was Gopher football at the end. And our O-line taking over, tight ends taking over, and Drake on third down, throwing completions to keep moving the chains. Because it was all going to come down to 3, 4 first downs in a row to end the game. And we ended the game on offense. That was the challenge to everybody up front, and I thought they accepted the challenge. So really proud of our offensive line, Coach Callahan, Darius Taylor ran his heart out tonight. But here's the thing about Darius. Darius is a really good player. But Darius was sitting here. Darius is going to tell you he's going to have to get. He missed a few runs, and he's going to get better at that. He's only been playing tailback for about 3 years, and he's going to keep getting better. But he's made some huge plays for us. Love when the ball's in his hand in 4 minutes. The best play maybe of the day was after the ankle kick up interception. After that, you're sitting there going, wow, is tonight our night? Because when things like that happen, you're like, wow. As Garrett says, he goes, whoa. And Darius runs all the way down the field and tackles him. And what happens? Field goal. Instead of 6, field goal. That's how. That's Gopher football. That's the heart, the spirit, and the unconquerable will of this football team. And that was on display from an offensive player becoming a defensive player. So I'm really proud of our offensive line. I thought that drive was really, really key.
BJ, did you feel your defensive line right away set the tone on that side of the ball?
They sure did. I mean, they're relentless. I mean, from Devin Eastern to Jalen Logan, Redding, Jackson Howard, Anthony Smith, I mean, they're relentless. I thought Rashawn Lawrence had some really big plays in there today. I thought our linebackers were flying all over the place. Our secondary did a really good job. The one play that got out, and Kerry just bites on a bender at the double move. We knew they were going to run it at some point. Kerry Brown's a phenomenal football player. And then he makes 4 plays out of the next 8 after that. So, that's going to happen in football. But the response is what I'm concerned about, and I thought we did a tremendous job of that.
Did Drake Lindsey's composure tonight in his first start surprise you at all?
No, didn't surprise me at all. His composure, Ryan, is the exact same as I saw in a state championship football game when it's a nail-biter and it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The only one that was a little anxious was Amy, his mom, and just every play was holding on for dear life. Not that kid. I mean, he is a cool customer. Wants the ball, understands situational football. He learned a lot of things that you can and cannot do today. You can't take a sack in the green zone there. You got to throw the ball away. But he's so coachable. Our best players are the most coachable people. And when we talk about developing talent, great people become really great players. I believe in that. And that's what this program is. We're going to create great people, recruit great people, and then they'll become better players. And I think Drake Lindsey's a great example of that. His composure and his poise. Not only that, his processing information was at a high level. He made some really good throws today. And then he made a throw or two. They were like, you're not going to be able to throw that again. How was honeymoon, Pierre?
Great.
That's it? Great.
Amazing.
All right.
You guys are able to get.
Some of us been working, you know what I mean, Andy? Some of you guys have been working around here. Guys been on the beach. Thanks for coming back.
I bleed for
And you get the next question.
Thank you, Coach. Well, my next, I guess I'd say you're using Darius. You line him up in kind of wildcat format. We haven't really seen that before. Is that something that we could potentially be seeing more of in the future?
Yeah, I think you can see a lot more of that. You can see a lot of other things too. What we have is there's a lot of guys. Look at a guy like Jalen Smith tonight. He's playing in his first football game, and some things went well, some things didn't go so well. Right? And when you're a guy, it's different going out there for running 4 run plays to run out a game last year. We're talking about like real football, and there's some things he's going to keep getting better at, but I think he showed what he can do, right? And now we just got to continue to get better at those things. You look at like Javon Tracy, a new player on this team. We're only going to keep getting better as the time goes on because of how hard these guys work. And but you're going to see a bunch of other stuff. I mean, Coy played some snaps on offense, but we needed them a lot on defense again today too, and we were going to do some other things, but they did some other things on defense, which kind of changed that a little bit.
You had Max around tonight. What's a good example of how he rubbed off on Drake, I think?
They became really, really good friends, and I think there's a difference between being cool and working. Max never led by being cool. Max led by the work, the sacrifice, the discipline, the dedication, the leadership. That was his deal. And I think that showed Drake what it looked like. And Drake's a really young player. Drake's mature for his age, but he's still a freshman. But that showed, and I think that helped speed up his maturity level. I mean, Max Brosmer got a game ball in the locker room, and he shows up in a Drake Lindsey jersey. Nobody's happier for Drake than Max. And you can see whether it was New Hampshire or whether it was the University of Minnesota and what's going to happen with the Minnesota Vikings, that kid leaves his imprint, and he leaves his legacy everywhere he goes. And that's not – it's going to keep happening in his life. And I think we all got a chance to watch that over the 6-week training camp with the Vikings. And everybody who covers us, I told you, this dude's going to play a long time in the NFL. And the longer he sticks around, the more they're going to like him. And what did he do? Longer he stuck around, made the team. But him celebrating that locker room with us, that's what this whole thing's about. Dragon's back. Crawford was back today in the locker room. It's just, our alumni, Coney Durr was in our facility the other day. I mean, just, this is what it's all about. This is what that cultural sustainability can create. And really, really proud of Max and what he's accomplished because, he's been doubted his entire life. And there's one thing I would never, ever do is doubt that young man.
You guys were able to mix a lot of different skill players and get into a lot of different formations and groupings. How much does that open up the schematic possibilities for you guys this year?
Well, we knew we wanted to do a lot of different things tonight and see what we're good at, see what we're not so good at, see what needs to be cleaned up. But Buffalo was pretty standard on film. Tonight they were not standard. Blitzing from everywhere, playing bare fronts. I mean, they're moving all over the place. Their stunt game was crazy. Coverages, they were mixing up more than they normally did. They usually kind of sit in cover 3. It was very, very different. And, I thought our coaches did a really good job adjusting to it. It just felt like we could never put the game away. We were one play away from putting it away one time, then another play from putting it away, and then another play. And I think that was maybe the disappointing piece of it was we were that close from making that a different game. But I'm glad it didn't go that way because as coaches, you got so much to coach from. And as players, I said this to them before, whether it was 3rd and 30, Georgia Southern right out here, and then the 4th and 13, whether it was South Dakota State, winning by a touchdown, Rashad Bateman's one-handed catch, whether it was Fresno State coming down the wire here and there with Antoine Winfield Jr. picking that ball off. These games are hard. It's hard to win. Looking around the MAC and Big Ten schools tonight. I mean, I got a chance to see some, and when the final of the game was, we were looking at the ticker. I mean, some close games. There's some good football teams. And you just truly don't know what you're going to get until you play game 1. And we have a lot of data. Our team is really, really excited to be 1-0. We're humbled to be 1-0. And now we got to go get better.
PJ, I know Danny's called bowl games before, but what stood out to you with him calling first game as a defensive coordinator?
He's acted like he's done it for 50 years. He's so poised on the headsets. He knows what he wants. He's a great communicator. He's a great teacher. He's really good with the staff. When you're on the headset and you're listening to Danny when they're over on the benches, I mean, it's a clinic. It's a clinic. And he's a phenomenal football coach. And I'm glad he's our defensive coordinator. And, just to be able to have it happen, the defense running out there after that interception and, just making them lose yardage. I mean, that's impressive. We got a lot to get better at. We're going to get some guys back. We have some guys that are out right now. We're going to get some guys back. I'm glad we have a few extra days as we keep going forward here. So rest up and go at it again.
What was your assessment of your special teams tonight?
Sorry, I'm maybe a little dehydrated. Bob Ligashevsky got a game ball in our team room. In the locker room because new kickers, new punters, special teams played tremendous. We weren't able to return many punts. I thought their punter did a really good job of flipping some stuff. We flipped field position. I thought that was really critical. But I thought that, 3 for 3 in field goals, which are absolutely huge with the new kicker, only builds his confidence as he moves forward, new holder. I watch Bob work, and I watch how the kids respond to Bob. They love Bob. We do our senior speeches, and when the specialists get up there, the relationship is really deep with Bob Ligashevsky. He's been around. He's been to so many NFL teams. He's got so much experience. He's a wonderful human being, and he definitely deserved one tonight.
How much more for Coach?
How important is it to see such a young roster, young quarterback, bounce back from drops and bounce back just the way that they did, the receivers and Drake too, just not letting it bother them. Jalen Smith shows up later after the early start.
It's what road boat's all about. It's a great question. It's the response. You can't do anything about the result of the last play. You got to respond. No play will beat you twice. You can't allow that to happen. And that's what I saw in the young players today. But the poise on their face. Nobody ever had bad body language. Nobody was ever discouraged. There's a difference between being disappointed. I want you to be disappointed. You don't catch a ball and you drop it. I want you to be disappointed. But I want you to want to get the next one. I want to see that in your body language. I want to see that in your eyes. I want to see it. I want to feel it. And I felt it in all of them today. You know, I felt that feeling, whether it was Jalen Smith, whether it was Javon Tracy. We talked at halftime like we had to go attack that football in the second half, whether it was our tight ends. And I thought they responded to that. We're only going to keep getting better that way. You know, our teams get better as the season goes through because we just continue to practice and develop. We're very transparent with our players, and I expect nothing but nothing less than us to continue to improve in those areas. And they're going to, you know, you won't be able to tell whether we won or lost when we go over this film tomorrow. That's for sure. And we'll get better at it, and those guys will see what they have to continue to improve on.
PJ, you've been doing this a long time. This is the first game. How do you not react, either overreact, underreact to just the first game of data?
Yeah, it's one game. It's not just, I don't look at it, Ryan, as like the first game versus the seventh game. I don't look at it versus like 14th versus the 6th. You have one game of complete proof data in a game. You take it exactly for what it's worth. What I tell our coaches when we watch film as a staff, I said, listen, data is jumping off the screen of what this team can and what they're not capable of doing yet. We as coaches have to listen to that. We got to highlight more of what they can do, and then we got to make the things that we're not so good at way better. And then sometimes if we're not really good at all, you got to throw it out. And then you just continue to funnel that as the season goes on. But it's game one. We were 1-0. That game is over. We are going to dissect it as best we possibly can, and then we'll flush it. We'll take all that data. We'll learn from our past to create our future. We'll plug it in, and we'll go to game two and hopefully play a way better game in game two than we did game one.
Any more for Coach? All right, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Row the boat, Sky Yamago, Gophers. Thanks for sticking around. Really appreciate it.